Episode 025 with Sereno. I'm so excited to share with you this next guest. Sereno has been one of my longtime friends, and he is one of my favorite singer-songwriters based in Sydney. He's an incredible person. I have him to thank for helping me co-write a lot of the songs that was on my Be Heard EP. It's really been an amazing journey just writing with him, getting things down on paper and creating a song from nothing. You know, it's such an amazing feeling to be able to do something creative like that, and then also kind of leaving a little piece of you on this earth. So I really have Van to thank for that. Not only has it been a game changer in my business, but it has been an incredible experience in my personal life as well, because it's really helped me to home in on my message and what I believe in. And, it does have a ripple effect into my students' lives. So I really have him to thank for that. I really hope you enjoy this podcast, and if you do, please subscribe to the podcast, and also please leave a positive review. That would mean the world to me. As a gift for listening, I have a free PDF. If you want to get started on songwriting or creating your first album, please feel free to download it from the show notes. The links I have included, and it's to help you get started. If it's a dream of yours to create an EP or write a song, check out the 5 ways to get started on creating your album. And it's a free PDF. Just enter your emails and your name, and that will get straight into your inbox. And we also have a new playlist on Spotify, the One Voice Can Change the World podcast playlist, and it's got all the songs of the people who have been a guest on our show, and that includes Sereno. So without further ado, please welcome him. Welcome to One Voice Can Change the World podcast. I'm your host, Tina Bangle, vocal coach and professional vocalist. In each episode, we bring you an inspiring person doing wonders in the music industry today. We hope to give you motivating messages to help you navigate towards your musical dreams. I'm so grateful you're here, and now let's give you something to sing about. So Don't Worry is your 8th album. What have you learned as a singer-songwriter over the years? Because when did you first release your first album? What year was that?
That was back in 2005 with the album called I Think I Know. Yeah. So, wow. A few years down the line. I think the main thing that I've learned is that we are not in the music business, that we're in the people business. When you figure out that it's all about relationships and making a connection and trying to, evoke good emotions and good connections, then you'll do better with your music business, I think. The better you are as a person, the more likeliness of some kind of success, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been fortunate to have really good friends with some extraordinary, awesome talent and world-class and artists in their own right. And I think, surrounding myself with them in those circles, it's, you are a student of life, and you are a student being influenced by good musicians and singers. I think.
Yeah.
So and you're one of them, Tiwi.
Oh, thanks.
Sorry, Tina. Sorry.
No, you're all right.
Edit that.
No, it's fine. I know that you surround yourself with people who are driven and very talented musicians. Is that what you mean, that you're in the people business in terms of you get to work with those high caliber musicians? Is it also in terms of you're in the people business because you're writing songs that connect with people?
Yeah, both, I think. That, and also the fact that you're dealing with not just the music business people, but there's venue bookers, and then there's licensees and managers and bartenders and waitresses that you're dealing with. They count too.
Yeah.
All right, just because then they're not paying you, but you're working with them. They're your colleagues. On the night you do the gig, you show up. And you got to give them respect. Excuse me, can I have a a beer, please. You know, you give them respect because, yeah, I mean, even though they're not really working with you, but they kind of are. You're still in a team. It's service, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good point you brought up because one of the there's a lady that I've been working with. Her name is Sereno Sue, and she's in PR, and she's based in New York. And she is
cool name, Sereno Sue.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and she has this course called Impacting Millions. In the course, she teaches you how to connect with influencers. She put up this question on Facebook and said, you know, what are some of the things that has helped you get gigs or landed you opportunities because you connected with VIP or influencers, and I messaged, you know, I put down my answer as like, even the smallest, the people that are working for the venue, you know, even like to the bodyguard of the influencer. And that's basically a lot of my gigs have come from knowing the bodyguard, because he's been like, you know, saying, oh, you should meet Tina.
It's so true for my case too. Yeah. Security guards are awesome. Like they you know, it's not just that venue they work for. They work with several other venues, and they remember, there's this other venue that will suit you, you know, and they'll put you forward. Go, yeah, hire this guy. This guy's good. I saw him last Friday night and he packed the room. It's like that, you know. It's so important. Never underestimate the power of the security guard.
Yeah, but also just even like the people behind as you said, behind the bar, you know, because they're like, oh, yeah. I remember we did one gig and I don't think the people at the bar really enjoyed our music, so it was a while ago. It was a long time ago. So, they make a difference.
It's likeliness that the bartender is really good friends with the licensee. So the licensee didn't work the shift. They'll come up to that bartender. How was it last night?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's make or break. If the bartender doesn't like you, like, don't hire him again.
Yeah.
You know, but you know. But yeah, that's the thing. It's all about taste. It's the industry, you know. You know, on an unlucky day, the bartender doesn't like live music and it's all into EDM. Well, then, yeah, sorry. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. You're not going to get in a gig because he's going to go back to the manager and say, yeah, not my style. You know,
which is unfortunate. Yeah, so you've learnt that you're in the people business. What else have you learnt?
It's music is a creative endeavor, that it's best to treat it like a business rather than a hobby, and have an open mind, and have, you know, there's always room for improvement. So try and learn as much as you can. That's what I've learned, and you know, I'm still learning. Don't be a follower, be a student, as the motivator once said. I think if you have that kind of mentality and attitude, I think you'll do well because you're always willing to learn and grow and learn from other people, randoms. You know, I can learn from a 19-year-old who's just graduated from music school. Yeah. Even though I've done a few more gigs than he has, I can still learn from him. You know, because you know, that's what I think. And you know, not just from from musician mates, teachers, mentors, whoever. You can learn from your mother if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've learned, I think. Yeah.
Cool. And what are 5 tips that you can give to somebody that's a budding singer, songwriter? 5 tips on how to become a better songwriter.
Wow, good question. All right. I think for me, number 1, know your purpose. Why are you taking part in the art of songwriting? Because if you don't know why you're doing it, it won't drive you. You'll end up, you know, I think, figure it out. Number 2, know your outcomes. Like what kind of results? I mean, if you're going to write a song, what do you want to achieve from writing a song? Is it a song for the Wiggles, you know, or is it a song that you want to pitch to Guy Sebastian to sing? Or is it a song that you just want to sing and you just want to sing it at pubs and clubs, you know? Or maybe you just want to do a song for a barbecue, you know, for your friend's pool party, whatever.
Yeah.
And also, tip number 3, take massive action. Whatever you do it good, do it properly, and do it many times. Don't just give it one go and just go, yeah, I've done it. No, because, you know, I mean, to be really successful, you got to do it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 times before really you get good.
How many songs do you think you've written over the years?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think on my computer, the folder says 70 or 80, but these are the songs that I've only, because I I bought that new computer a year ago. There's some heaps of songs that are on the old computer that I didn't transfer across because I didn't think it was worth it. So I don't know, it could be up to about 200, I think, at the moment. Cool. Yeah, those that are good. But there were a few that I didn't even bother, finishing. Yeah, so maybe 300 unfinished. So don't be, I think another tip I would say is be resourceful. Like, when I say be resourceful, use whatever resources that you have to the best of your ability. Like, hire the best musicians that you know, and hire the best sound engineers that you know. Hire the producers that you know. Make use of what you got, you know. And last one, be prepared. Like, be prepared with everything. Like, be prepared with a gig. If you want to come, go early. Allocate time for, you know, for traffic, and when you have a recording session, get the work for hire agreements ready, have your charts on the stand, pay them the musos straight away, things like that, you know. If it's a songwriting collaboration, have some reference songs ready to show, have one or two cool melodic ideas handy, a clever lyric line scribbled in your journal, you know, things like that. Or have a journal. That's a good tip in itself. Have a diary, because a lot of us would write little tidbits in scrap piece of paper, and then you'd lose that scrap piece of paper.
And I know you bring a black book. You've got a big, massive black journal.
Yeah, thanks for remembering.
That? And you always refer to that. Yeah, I know you always refer to that.
Yeah, that one that you and I worked on, that's volume 4. I'm up to volume 5 now.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll have like 10 volumes, 11, 15, 20 volumes 5 years from now.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're really meticulous. Like, you write, what are some of the things that you write on your journal? Because you write the date, the time, don't you? You have...
because back in the olden days, you could... be sued, and you could take it to court and say, yeah, look, I have actual physical proof it was written at this time on this day, and this is the work that was done, you know. And I think it became a habit. Now you don't need to do these days nowadays, not with the iPhone, but I just do it because it's become a habit, and it's sometimes kind of quirky to 5 years down the line open up your old black journal, like, I don't remember that it was at 1:30 p.m. you know, on a Sunday afternoon that I did that song. And so it's kind of funny. Yeah,
that's cool.
Do it.
Yeah,
for a laugh.
And how do you keep your notes? Like, if you think of an idea of a song lyric, do you just type it, or do you record it on your phone? Do you just type it in the notes in your phone, or?
I think that depends. If I'm at home, then I'll have my black journal handy. But a lot of the times I'll be out, you know, either at a gig or hanging out with a mate or randomly just traveling to, and the black diary isn't handy. Well, then I'll use my phone. There's that, you know, yellow notes memos section. I'll write down. Or if there's pieces of paper in the car, then I'll scribble that during the traffic light. You shouldn't, but I do that anyway.
Well, you don't want to be you don't want to forget.
Yeah, it's important to record it. Yeah, because these things are fleeting moments. I mean, you know, I heard this story that John Mayer, when he was writing Stitched Up, he was just having a cafe coffee with his mate, a bass player, and he's like, and apparently the subject of the topic of conversation was, you know, I get all shy when I meet a beautiful woman, and I can't talk. I get all stitched up. I can't talk. Stitched Up. Oh, that's an interesting concept. And then he wrote it down, then went and wrote Stitched Up on that concept. And I thought, that happens to me too. You walk around and, you know, you see a donut, just go, donut, the profiterole, cream, you know, let's write a song, cream, you know, profiterole, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like a snowball effect. And
if you don't, I mean, some musicians' friends don't believe in recording it there at the moment, because they say if you forget, then it wasn't worth recording because you forgot.
Oh, really?
Some others say that, but I don't follow that school of thought. I think you know, sometimes these things happen and you don't remember it, you know, 5 days from now, and you think, oh man, because that's happened many times, and I was lazy, I didn't record, and I'm like, I forgot, and I remember at the time of writing it sounded really cool, you know. Yeah. So
how many is that? How many tips was that? What are we up to?
Wow, sorry. I think that was 6 tips. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's cool.
I went a tip above.
But coming back to your tip 1, when you said know your why, what's your why?
Know your purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it because I know true writers are only happy when they are writing, you know. So I know what it makes me feel like when I finish a work of art, when I finish a piece of writing. It's like better than sex, you know. It's like wow, you feel on top of the world, like, you know, you've carried out your life purpose, you know. I don't know, I believe that, you know, God put me on this earth to write, you know. So I'm writing, and for me, I figured, what's my purpose? I want to not only just take care of myself, but I want to take care of my family, you know. Before, you know, my child was born, okay, I take care of my immediate family, my mum and dad, my brothers and sisters, like take care of them, make sure I'm okay, and then hopefully I have some money, I can take care of them when they get old. But now that I've got a kid, I got to, you know, make sure that I'm okay and the business is okay.
Yeah.
So then I can put food on their plates, my kid, you know, things like that. So that's my purpose, to really help family and to serve, yeah. But then I think over the years you grow, and also there's another purpose, to make use of the talent that you have, to you know, to contribute to the community, to contribute to the marketplace, because we are here to serve. As Albert Einstein said, man, someone asked him, what's the purpose of life? You know, and he said, we are here to serve each other. The purpose of life is service. I'm like, that's cool. That's, you know, that's very wise.
Yeah,
it's true.
I think so too. I have a student who just recently went to an audition. I won't say what the audition was, but she was in her head, and she was like, I don't know why I'm so nervous, and why like I had the worst sound check ever, and she said, I'm really scared for the big audition, and then I thought back and I thought, yeah, the only reason why we feel that way is because we're too in our head and we're thinking about how we feel, and we're focusing too much on that and ourselves. But then when you look at it in a service point of view, like somebody needs to hear your voice in that audition, you know, like, or when you're performing, when you go up on stage, use it as a way to serve others instead of thinking about, oh, how do I look, or how do I sound, or am I going to hit that note? But if you sing from a place of service, I think that's a good way to, you know, navigate through this performance.
That's a good point, Tina. Yeah, I mean, so many musicians, they freak out in auditions and they think, oh, am I going to crack? And then they put focus and they think about cracking, and then they actually crack because they're putting focus on that. You know, they're putting stress on the body, and the body freezes up, and boom.
Yeah.
You know, it's terrible. And I think it's rather than focus on the negative, focus on the positive. Like, be grateful that you actually have the audition in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's good. And you're showing off your talents. You're going to make sure that you can do this. You got this. Yeah, covered. And it's very clever. Good positive attitude, I reckon.
Yeah. Because you've been gigging for so long, how long have you been gigging and doing your songwriting and creating music? How long has it been?
Wow. I don't know. I started, I don't know, I'd say, about 20 years, 21 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but really, I didn't really take it seriously until I was in my early 30s. So really just, 12, 13 years because it took a long time. A lot of, I was struggling with confidence, and a lot of people were saying, why do you want to do that? You're Asian, you'll never make it, And I was listening to them and going, yeah, you're right. And then after a few years, they go, no, I stopped being friends with them, and they moved on. We went to different universities, and I'm like, no.
Why did they say that to you? Like, were they Asian themselves, or? I think
I have a feeling these people said it because they're under the confines of their own beliefs, their own belief systems, and they wouldn't. Yeah, and maybe they're saying it because they love you, because they want to keep you as a friend within their circles. Mm-hmm. They know that if you were to do that, you wouldn't hang out with them. You'd be busy doing gigs. You'd be doing rehearsals, not hanging out in the pub like they do. But I didn't come to that reflection until many years later.
Yeah.
I didn't realise what was going on. I just listened to them. And then I realised many years would go by, and they go, hang on, I'm in my 20s now, and they get to do what they've done. Like, he just wanted to be a PE teacher, And here I was, I wasn't happy. I think at the time I was a graphic designer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just I wasn't happy, and I'm like, I heard the music calling, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to answer this call. Yeah.
What was the thing that made you decide, okay, I'm going to just jump into it full time, not make it a hobby, but make it a business?
I think it happened. It literally, I got hit in the head. Literally got hit in the head. It was that time when I was working for the day job at a real estate agency, but I was doing little gigs as a part time at in a band, and then I got mugged. I literally got mugged.
Oh.
Some stole. I don't know whether I've told you the story.
No,
before.
you haven't. No.
Yep, I was walking along Cooper Street in Stratford on the way home, and I was ambushed by 4 teenagers, young kids, that stole my bag and everything in the bag, which was my black diary, little disc. Remember those Sony Discman that you would record, like little pocket? Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, so I got hit in the head many times because I wouldn't give them my bag. I said no. So they had a steel pole and they hit me on the head 6-7 times until I started bleeding. I felt the blood, and then I'm like, okay, you can have the bag. You can have the bag. And I gave the bag, and they, give me your phone. I gave them the phone. And they rushed me straight to the hospital, my parents, because I had ran with adrenaline. Anyway, got to the doctor said they could see my skull.
Oh, my God.
Completely open. Yeah, so there's 11 stitches to sew up the hole. And I needed to get psychiatric help. I went 6 because I kept getting flashbacks of the hitting on the head, and I couldn't sleep, and it just wasn't. So it was called post-traumatic stress disorder, and I had that. So I had counselling, and the counselling towards the end of the session when I got better, the visions started going away, and I got more confident. And she asked me a question. She goes, "So are you happy with your life?" And I'm like, "No, not really." I said, "Why not?" Well, because I do a 9-to-5 rat race job, and I want to be a muser. And I said, "Well, are you a muser?" "Yeah, I'm doing gigs once in a while, once a month, or a couple of times, on the weekend." And I said, "Well, how serious are you?" And I said, "I guess I'm not really serious, am I?" He goes, "Well, it's up to you." The psychiatrist said, "What do you think?" That's why psychiatrists. So then it made me really think. I went away and just in silence, in a way, meditated, I thought. And then I'm like, 3 months later after that accident, I'd quit the job and I went full-time music. And look at that, many years later, look what's happened. Yeah. So I had to get hit on the head. So those of you listening, don't get hit on the head. Just if you want to
do it.
Just quit your day job. Go full-time music.
Oh, good. I had no idea, Van. That's a really eye-opening story. I had no idea that that's what really pushed you to jump into music full-time. And then we met. When did we meet? With you did a fill-in gig because one of the guys from Midnight Sun, because we did that cover gig.
But I think didn't we meet Gordon before that gig?
We met ages ago, but in terms of in terms of music wise, how we reconnected music wise
was that gig
with Gordon Hunt with Midnight Sun, and then So how long were into it? Were you
I think it was around about that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was around about that time because I had that day job for ages. I had that day job for 3.5 years at the real estate agency, and I forgot who referred me that gig, but I just remembered when I found out you were in the band, I was like, yes, I know her, I remember her, and this will be fun, so it's good. And I only took that gig because I knew you were in it. I'm like, it's Tina's band. Yeah, so it's good. Yeah, that was a fun time.
That was a fun time, and because were you doing songwriting then as well?
Yeah, but not as much. Yeah, I had to. That year, I took a year off, and I think I was working on the day as a bartender. And while at that bar, I was allowed to muck around with a guitar while I was at the bar.
Okay.
So that's how the first album was written.
Oh, wow.
I would stock the bar up. It was day shift working. There's no one goes into a bar during the days. So I made sure the stock was full, and then boom, I'd get my guitar out and muck around. And Yeah, just play music. Yeah, once in a while, an American tourist would come in and they'll buy one beer and play pool. Sometimes you'd have to play pool with them. So what a tough life, huh?
Tough life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You show up, you play pool, and that bar had like arcade games too. You could play for free.
Yeah.
So Daytona and Street Fighter. You think just funny, like, and then you get tired of it when it's free. Yeah, it's a novelty for the first couple of weeks, but then you get bored and just okay, that's good. All right, focus. Get on there.
And then you got got serious with gigging and what were some of the perceived failures that you had starting out, and then now you think, oh wow, that's the best thing that ever happened to me because I learnt this.
Good question. Yes. Okay. I think a couple of things pop up. Maybe 3 things pop up. You can edit it.
No. Well, we'll keep them.
In the first one, I would say 2003, I was leading an originals funk band. We were called VAMPit. We were into our 4th year. We had some victories, had some lineup changes, but at this particular time, we got offered to play a week in Fiji. Right? The deal was it was a reality TV show called The Resort.
Oh, wow.
Yep, John Stevens was the host, and I don't know whether you can still see stuff up. I don't, because it was so old. It was 2003.
Yeah.
But anyway, that reality TV show, they hired just normal people to run a resort in Fiji, and that week was Australian Music Week. So they chose 12 bands from Sydney to fly up to Fiji and be guests of the resort. And the deal was you pay for your ticket, but you get airtime. You get to play your music for a little while on the show. So what a deal. And I told the band, like, hey, guys, VAMPit's invited. And you know what happened? The bass player said, oh, I can't go. I got something to do with my wife. And the singer, a girl, Zoe, she goes, I can't go. I'm going to America with my boyfriend, And the keyboard player said, I can't go. I got a day job and it's too busy at work. So here I am, just me and the drummer, Aaron. Me and the drummer in the band going, guys, a week, and we get airtime to play our music? Are you serious? And then I realized, okay, these guys aren't serious enough. You got to surround yourself with, people, like-minded people. They're people that are. I just said, and that was then and then. This was the camel that broke everything's back. I just thought, no, I'm not going to have this band, but I'm going to go solo. And I told Aaron, I'm going as Van Sereno solo. You want to be my drummer? And that's how my career was started, because of that failure. Yeah, I think. Yeah, because my band. So I thought I was a failure as a leader to lead the band, but then I figured no, I just recruited the wrong people. I think
you were running everything, you were booking everything.
I did have all artistic creativity. I was the leader, but still, I think, you know what happened. You could just see it. All right, maybe I was a little bit pushy as a leader, maybe.
But you have to be because it's your.
Yeah, someone's got to take the reins.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, you need someone to take the reins.
Yeah,
and be that leader, and but then sharing their vision as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of people didn't have that same vision, and that's where you figure it out. Oh, okay, well, let's part ways, and I'll find people that vibe with you, and that's what I learned from that failure.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good story. I like that one. So what's your other story?
Okay, 2009. I was based in Manila, Philippines at the time. I fully moved. I changed base, and I was at the time working with Sony BMG Philippines on a new album, new material. And after a couple of months recording a bunch of new songs, they ended up dropping the deal. So, and shelving me. And it taught me not to rely on the major labels. It taught me to tighten my belt with the way I operate my business. It was like a wake-up call. I am the CEO of Van Sereno Music, and I need to be more proactive with my craft, not letting suits dictate how my art should be.
Yeah. How did that come about anyway? Did you do a gig and then they offered you the contract, or what happened?
By luck, my uncle is friends with Boy Bunda.
Okay.
So Boy Bunda is the Molly Meldrum of the Philippines,
Right, okay.
And he called Boy and said, look, there's this nephew of mine, can you have a chat with him? And I called him and said, hey, look, I really am interested in getting involved with the labels, major labels there. And I said, oh, that's funny. I'm best friends with the CEO of Sony BMG, Vic. So Boy introduced me to Vic. And
sorry, can I just interrupt you for a second?
Yep.
Boy, is that the guy with the glasses and
yes,
he's got the bald head? Yeah, okay,
yeah.
yes. Now that when you said Molly Meldrum of Australia, yeah, I remember. He's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. He's like a talk show host.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he was nice to me. He was like, yeah, and he introduced me to Vic, and Vic showed up. I had a gig at Magnet Cafe in Quezon City, and I was living at the time in Parañaque, which is like, the other end of town,
Right.
So, and with Manila traffic, it's just horrendous. I don't know whether you've been there, but it's horrendous, worse than India. Yeah. Anyway, like to get a distance from like Sydney to Parramatta is only 20 minutes, but it'll take 2 hours in Manila, right? So here I am, and I know that's the night that the A&R Vic guy is going to go there, check out the gig. I leave early, but I'm still an hour and a half late, because of the traffic. So I rock up. And this guy is actually still there. In the black suit, was sitting in the back with his assistant, two men in black. And my cousin's like, I think these guys, they're important, right? They look important. I'm like, yeah. Well, they've been here for an hour. Good luck, have a good gig.
Oh my God.
It was crazy, yeah. So I did the gig, and wow, funny enough, they come up, hi, I'm Vic. I'm friends with Boy. You want to see me at the office? Next week we'll have a meeting. And boom, we are interested in working with you. I'm like, wow, I got all excited, I'm like, yeah. So I recorded it in their studio with their producer, but my songs. Yeah, but then, the deal 2 months later, they like, look, we think that your songs are too Australian. You need to write more love songs, love songs, love. I'm like, seriously? And I thought about it. Yeah, I could, and I can, and I did actually. I wrote one soppy, cheesy ballad.
Yeah.
Sorry, no offense to cheesy ballad lovers. I mean they're great.
Yeah.
But then I thought, hang on, that's not. I felt like at the time I really wanted to do an indie singer-songwriter, John Mayer-ish kind of style of album, and I thought, so it was a blessing in disguise. I thought, that the deal didn't go through. So I went back to Sydney, and I'm like, I won't chase Manila anymore. I'll just, I'll go. My home is Sydney, and my crowd is Sydney, and my friends are in Sydney, and and look what's happened. Many years, I'm still doing it. Thank God. Thank God for Sydney. It made me appreciate Sydney.
Yeah, and you never know. Something might happen in the Philippines, but the way you want it to.
Look, Philippines, God bless them. I love Philippines. I'm Filipino, and if they want to keep listening to Love Boat on radio, let them. Or Usher. It's great. They've got. They don't want to play indie Australian music, and that's fine. Australian, Triple J will play indie Australian music. You just figure it out, and don't take it personal. You just it is what it is, and it's okay. Yeah.
What's your third one?
In October 2010, I had a day job as a production manager for a printing company. I went back to day job many years later because,
you have to sometimes.
The 2009 Philippines was a shambles, and I was broke. I came home broke, and I had to get on my 2 feet again. I thought, let's get a day job really quickly just to get money because my contacts had dried up, and I had to start from scratch again. If that's the thing, if you leave Sydney for more than 3 months, you will lose all gigs and all venues, you know that. Everyone knows that. So so I had to start from scratch. So anyway, I was working at the production company as a production manager, and my focus was more inclined with the side hustle, my music business. I had more excitement trying to book gigs and doing gigs, looking forward to the weekend than the 9 to 5 being a production manager. Yeah. So I dreaded Monday mornings, and so to no surprise, the boss fired me. A few months down the line, I just wasn't cutting it. It made me really reflect, and maybe really decide, look, I can't keep doing this. You've really got to follow your bliss, follow your passion properly, and put the money where your mouth is. Make the music work and stuff. Make the music work or starve. Like what Tony Robbins says. He says, you want to take the island, burn the birds.
Yes.
And that was in 2010. So thankfully, 8 years down the line, I have never gone back to I've been full-time ever since. And I've been keeping up with the promise. Just, keep on keeping on.
Yeah. And sometimes we do have to take those, daytime jobs, day jobs. And And that's what I like about you. You're just really practical, though. You know, like if you need to get the money, go and you'll have to go get the job and get the money.
But at the same time, though, if you are not doing good at that job, then you figure, and you keep doing not good at it, then you think maybe you shouldn't do that. Because I don't think I was any good at that production manager. Like we were printing and, there was a few mistakes and it kept happening, the same mistakes. And obviously my heart wasn't into it. My focus wasn't into it. And why? Because I just wasn't into it. Because I'm meant to be in music. So you figure out where you're good at and work on your strengths. That's what you got to do, I think.
You know what really stands out with you? How you're so humble. You don't really brag about all these little stories. But there was...
Thanks.
Tell us about... your opening. You were support act for John Legend when he first started. Not many.
You're the only friend that brings that up. Like, no, that was so long ago.
But it's like it just shows that people have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, even John Legend.
Yeah, that was 11 years ago. Can you believe that? That was, So at the time, I was my booking manager was Dori Katabani from Harbour Agency, and he gave me great support acts, really well-known Australian acts, but not just Australian acts, international acts too. And the best gig was, what are you doing? He calls me up randomly. What are you doing Friday night? I'm like, Dori, it's my birthday. I'm going to go have dinner with my family at a restaurant. He goes, you're going to have to take the night off. You're going to have to work for me. I said, Dori, it's my birthday. They said, okay, fine. But would you pass up a gig with John Legend? And I'm like, okay, John Legend, I will cancel the dinner. So I'm like, on my birthday. It was a very good birthday gift. Yeah, I was at the Metro Theatre and John Legend packed out that house. And it was a pleasure. But I was still learning how to be a singer back then. I mean, and I was pretty dumbfounded to be there performing for his crowd. And thankfully I sold some CDs that night and it was very warmly received.
Oh, that's great.
But another failure. Yeah. Little did I know that mushroom Michael Gudinski was in the audience. Why? I found out later at the end. I'm hanging with Dori. Oh, Van, this is Michael Van. I literally shook his hand like, sir, Mr. Gudinski, good to meet you. And that's when I realized I stuffed up. I didn't prepare. I treated that gig as a normal gig when it wasn't a normal gig.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, I just randomly.
Well, because it was put onto you very quickly, wasn't it?
It was late. It was a late call.
So it wasn't maybe processed. But now that you know, you treat it differently. I mean, another
thing happened that night. I was backstage in the side wings watching the John do his thing, and next to me was will.i.am from Black Eyed Peas.
Serious?
He was standing next to me. So we were watching John. I looked at him like, oh, my God, it's will.i.am. And then I thought, you should talk to him. And I didn't. I was so shy. And next thing you know, I'm reading in the papers 2 weeks later, I'm starting an A&R company within Sydney. I'm looking for Aussie talent. Hello. I should have just got off my ass, tapped him, said, hi. So, and then made a connection. So I learned a lesson. It's not often you get life has a way of bringing you into these little random moments that will never happen again.
Yeah.
And you've got to seize the day. You've got to jump on it, man, and ride that wave when you can, because you don't know if that wave is going to, a better wave will come. And I should have said something. I just learned. It wasn't a failure. It was a learning experience, So the next time a big wig is there, it's okay to talk to them. Yeah. Don't do what I did.
But who knows, it's at the same time you don't want to be in people's faces too, right? How would you approach it now? If you were in that position now, what would you say to Michael now or will.i.am now? What would you do differently?
I would let my music do the speaking, If it was good, they'd want to do business with me. If it wasn't good enough, well then... And obviously that's what happened. The music wasn't good enough. They didn't want to do business with me. Mind you, though, it was a compliment when Michael said, who's handling your publishing?
Right.
And I'm like, no one. At the back of my mind, please say you want to handle it. Please say. He never did. But it made me think, oh, that at least he asked, you know. He was curious. Yeah, but I wasn't ready. I was singing off key. My pitching was terrible. You know, I've got a recording of that. A friend of mine recorded it that night, and I cringe when I watch it. I was like, whoa, you need to work on your stance, your microphone technique. You need to work on. I worked on. It's so important to look back and just figure out where you failed and improve. You know, work on it. So, and I'm still learning. I still have a lot of technique to work on. You know, long way to go.
So, do you go and have certain people that you turn to help you with that, or did you figure it out along the way and you kind of improved it yourself, or did you go to vocal teachers?
I went to a couple of vocal teachers. I went to Shauna Jensen. I went to Stephen Baker, and I went a couple of them, and then I think I learned from both. Yeah, and then now and then some really good singers, like I'd gig with them and they'd give me a couple of pointers too on the job. And then also, you know, just by watching heaps of other singers, like I'd go to heaps of different concerts and different styles of musicians too, and then I'd pick up, this opera singer's doing this way. Oh, that's an interesting way this jazz singer's doing this, you know. And everyone's got their different style, and I just, you know, try and observe and pick what suits for me in my style and what I want to do. Because sometimes it could be the correct technique, but it may not suit the style of music that you're doing. You know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think, you know, there's a certain way of breathing opera and it won't work in a pop song sometimes, you know, depending what kind of, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a big improvement in vocals in your recordings in the last album.
Yeah, thanks. But again,
sounds good.
I had a really good producer too. Yeah. I can't take all the credit. Thanks.
Okay. So who else produced it?
Andro Martinez.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He produced it, yeah. So and I had a really good mastering engineer who was William Bowden. Great guy, long-time friend. William's done most of my recordings for the last 10 years. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He's, I won't brag, but yeah, he's Grammy Award winning.
Yeah. Nice. What are some of the tips that you can give somebody who's been in the industry for a long time, gigging, but how can they feel like they're evolving and moving forward?
Keep things interesting, yeah?
Keep things interesting and keep things, like, exciting.
Yeah, I suggest, well, for me, I try out new agents. I try out new venues once in a while because, you know, it does get stale after doing it for a few. And take on a few out-of-town shows, especially places that I haven't been to yet, like for a change of scenery, you know.
Yeah, because you go to the SMO as well and...
Yeah, like I love those wedding gigs. Why? Because wedding gigs, you tend to come out of wedding venue, you know, in the south, like down in Berry or Kiama, you know, or up north, you know, near the Hawkesbury River, things like that. And they're always fun to do. I mean, they're a bit of a travel, but, you know, it's a new place, you know. You can see there's a wild echidna just outside the venue, you know. That's, you know, with a beautiful ocean, there's eagles flying above your head. It's great. You know, I did a gig very recently in Jarvis Bay and it was like that. Yeah. It was often. So often at weddings too, the bridegroom will get you to learn a special song that I don't know, that's not on my repertoire, and that's a good thing, I think, because, you know, usually it's like a different style song, like learn Mr. Brightside, you know. I'm like, what? I don't know that song. But then, you know, that everyone else knows the song. It's a freaking huge hit. You're like, hello, where you been? Under a rock.
Yeah.
You know, that's great, you know. And another wedding, they got me to sing Everlong by the Foo Fighters, you know. I'm like, I don't normally do that style, but I liked it so much I added it to my repertoire. It's a great song, you know. Good old Dave Grohl. And what's another thing? I don't actively push myself to grow. If I don't actively push myself to grow as an artist, I feel that you will stagnate and cease to be an artist. If you need to push yourself to grow, you need to keep pushing, you need to keep learning, keep growing, you know. Because I think because music excites me and I'm hungry to learn, it's easy for me to, you know, to learn a new chord progression, to, you know, to learn a new scale, or to work on that scale that you haven't got quite right yet. Because it helps you to be alive and healthy. It helps you to live, you know, and it domino effects into other aspects of your life. Yeah, because you're doing well in your gigs. You know, you want to do well in your family. You want to do well with your friends. You want to, you know. Yeah. I think it helps personal development. I think push yourself to look for that clever lyric. Like, you know, when you're having a coffee at a cafe, pay attention. you know, or when you're watching Game of Thrones, pay attention because you may get excited, like, oh, that's a clever idea, that concept. Oh, you know, let's write a song about a dragon, things like that. I don't know. I'm just randomly coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that helps you to evolve as an artist, I think. And also, lastly, I think reading books and watching YouTube clips, it's really handy to do that. It gives you inspiration, motivates you, but also gives you weird ideas. That could be a cool, weird song. That could be a hit, you know, I think.
And I know you're very much into listening to podcasts. At the moment. Yeah, and
I think that
getting ideas.
You helped me out with that. I started listening to your podcast. I'm like, oh, what's other podcasts? Yeah, and so thank you.
No, that's okay. Who are the podcasts that you listen to at the moment?
Right now, I'm listening to DIY Musician, which is the CD Baby one, and then Song Exploder.
Oh, okay. What's that
Song
one?
Exploders. Rich Cashaway, he interviews all different styles of bands and artists, and they dissect their song, how they came about that song.
Oh, okay,
it's a
cool.
great podcast. Yeah.
That's great.
And also, a couple of other, like the Tony Robbins podcast.
Yeah, I do love Tony Robbins. Yeah,
great
but
podcast.
check out Lewis House.
And your one. I listen to your one.
Oh, thank you. I know. Thank you, and thank you for reviewing as well. I just noticed that your review was up there.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So who are your mentors? Tell us about your mentors. Who do you turn to for inspiration or to keep yourself moving forward?
Mentors. Kathy Heller, I would regard. She's a singer-songwriter that specializes in sync placements in ads and TV shows. And I took a course with her. She does this online course, and I learned a lot from her course. So I got her, she's good. Yeah. And also, I even though I haven't met them personally, Tony Robbins is a mentor of mine. Jim Rohn, John Maxwell, Brian Tracy, and Terry Silverfoy. These are motivational speakers that are on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
That I kind of dig their philosophies. Can I add that I think it's so important to collaborate with other songwriters? That's a really good way of evolving. Because, as you know, I had fun collaborating with you.
Mm. So I know, and that's what I noticed with your latest album. You collaborated with a lot of people, right?
I collaborated with different players, but those are my songs. Yeah, okay. But like regardless whether you collaborate in songwriting or collaborate with different players in different band lineups, it's good because this music. It's not. I think the more you collaborate people, the more you grow because they expose you to different styles and different ways of writing and different ways of performing, and it's just so good. We help each other out.
So what does 10 years look like for you?
Good question, that one. I love that question. I plan to leave a legacy of songs that not only tell my story but motivate people and make them feel good, I reckon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like that. I want to make the people not only move in dance but moving forward momentum to better their lives. And that's you. You help me make motivational music. Because before we started work on our songs, I was all about writing songs about woe is me, I've broken up with so and so, and here's a depressing love song or I miss you song, and I'm like, because a lot of friends would relate to you, like, oh yeah, I've gone through that breakup too. But after years and years and years, you got to move on. You got to write something. And I thought, if you're going to write something, you write. You gave me that suggestion. Write some positive stuff and make happy music. And it's made a big difference. Like a lot more people are streaming my music now, thanks to the new direction.
That's
so
great.
Thank you, Tina. And I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's
great. I reckon 10 years from now, I would like a number of songs sync placed in ads, TV shows, internet videos, film, and movies. That'd be good. Yeah.
Nice.
I'd have my own recording studio, my own rehearsal space for hire, and my own songwriting course that I would teach. I think, yeah, and hopefully I'll be invited to work to present at festivals or songwriting workshops, songwriting camps. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd still gig and tour, but I'd only select clients that can afford me because my price would be 10 years more experience and it'd be a lot higher.
Nice.
Yeah.
The name of this podcast is One Voice Can Change the World. What does that mean to you?
I totally agree with you, Tina. that one voice can change the world. But unless that voice has a focused mind, then the world can't be changed. One must guard the gates of your mind and then feed your mind with good so that you could voice words of wisdom that will hopefully lead to creative action of equal good, I think. Mm-hmm. You've got to really watch what you lay focus to, and then you can change the world, you know. When you write a song, like Change the World, awesome song by Babyface and Eric Clapton.
Yes.
For the movie Phenomenal. Awesome song. Yeah, one of my faves. I play that regularly. Yeah. So nice. Yeah, it's a great podcast. Yeah. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. And what's one song that changed your life? Because this is what I ask all my guests.
More Than Words.
Oh, really?
Beautiful song. It made me want to learn the guitar, and then it started me off. Yeah, it was the first song I ever learned. One off.
Yeah, that's a good song to learn.
Hard song to sing.
I can
you
imagine.
Nail it. It was above my range. I needed many years to get it. Yeah, I sing it falsetto sometimes.
Yeah,
because it's so high.
And how can people connect with you? What's your handle, and where can we get your latest album?
Yep, you can stream it on Apple Music or Spotify or any. Yeah, it's distributed through CD Baby, so anyway, you can go to CD Baby website. Although you can contact me directly on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just Van Sereno, or I do more Instagram. I keep my Instagram up to date more.
Yeah, so I noticed that.
Yeah,
with all the hashtags and everything.
Thanks, Tina. Yeah, as long as you got one handle, you're okay. There's so many handles out there. I'm still learning. You're way really developed with your social media. I got to get some tips from you, I think.
Yeah, we'll help. I'll help you with that. But
Thank you.
Hey, so I was going to ask you something else, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah. I was going to say that on Spotify, I've made a playlist of all the guests that I have. What song do you want me to add on my playlist from you?
Oh, nice. Thank you for including me. Wow, that's like asking, what's your favorite kid?
Which is your favorite baby?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Can you put in Keep On Keeping On?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Tina Bengal is doing backing vocals on that track. I love it. Yeah, she's awesome. I think I love that song because Don Cabrera is an awesome drummer. He's on that drums.
Yeah.
And it's just got the pocket and also the attitude about, I think it's so important. If you want to change the world with your voice, you got to keep on keeping on. You really got to work. You got to have massive action. And that's why I want people to not only dance to that song, but really think about what you want to achieve in life, and you need to work. I mean, Michael Jordan didn't become a freaking awesome basketball player, for nothing. He woke up early morning and did 3,000 shoot hoops, to get to that level. And I think that's what we need to do. You don't just write 3 songs, write 3,000 songs. Yeah. I haven't even gotten up to that level, and I will get up to there. I will write that many songs. I'm only up to 300, so a few thousand more to go. You can do it. So just keep on keeping on. So thanks, Tina.
Yeah, I love it.
Putting that song on. Yeah. Thanks for singing it. So you're on it. Thanks for
Oh no, thanks
for gracing me with your beautiful voice on that album.
Thank you for letting me do it. So I've really enjoyed chatting to you, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and all the things that you've learnt over the years. It's really valuable stuff, and I'm sure that we'll hear more music from you, not only on Apple Music or Spotify, but maybe on TV and movies.
Thank you. Fingers crossed. We shall see.
I'm sure you will. All right.
Tina.
Thank you, Van.
Bless you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that episode with Van Sereno. I really enjoyed chatting to him and learning again from him. Lots of amazing stories that he shared. Don't forget to check out the songs of all of our guests on the Spotify playlist, One Voice Can Change the World podcast, and also download that free PDF with the 5 essential things that you should start doing so that you can start creating your very first album, EP, or start songwriting. Now I'd like to leave you with a song that I co-wrote with Van. It's called Journey Gently. And enjoy. Bye for now.
A road being built to streets that I travel less, all through countryside with even days of delay and roundabout ways. Just find a place where you want to stay. Journey, 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 gently. Journey, 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 safely. Take your time, go slow in coming home. When you climb or driven or sailed or flown, it doesn't really matter, just grow. There's no use in building your skyscraper and sand, so lay strong foundation withstand. Journey, 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 gently. Journey, 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 safely. Take your time, go